Hey, this is Keith from Save to Rust, and today I get to show you some progress on our 1940 Norton 16H military bike from World War II, and pretty excited. Got the got all the powder coating back, and I love the color. Um, kind of have enough green Harleys, so let's go with like a desert sand Norton, just something different. So let me give you a bit of a backstory on this project because there's a lot. It took a lot to get here. Okay, about 12 years ago, I found 1.5 Norton 16H motors in a garage in Winnipeg in St. Vital, so Winnipeg, Manitoba, Canada, and this stuff had been sitting for decades. The story goes as this guy found the two motors at one of his buddies, and the rest of the bike had been scrapped, shredded, but he saved the motors. This guy, I got all this stuff from. It was like 6 truckloads of stuff out of this guy's place, including 12 Norton motors, chassis, some vintage Japanese, some Harley stuff, some Survey car stuff, a mixed bag of stuff. It was an incredible pick. It was really interesting. The guy was super cool and just an enthusiast that took every bike apart and kind of hit it. So there was a shed, there was a garage, there was in the attic, in his house, in bedrooms. It was everything was all over. If you look up, I have a video called my top 10 motorcycle picks. There's actually pictures of it, and I'm going to put a couple of pictures in here just to show you how it all started. But getting back to this, we found a motor and a half, and at that time I knew nothing about Nortons. I didn't even own a single Norton ever in my life. Now I have 12 motors. I sold off a couple of P11s, some G15, a Norton Atlas. I built a Norton Atlas out of the parts, and what I ended up with was the remnants of this 16H. And upon doing some research onto it, because I didn't know anything about them, it had some cool history. These were World War II bikes, and in Brandon, Manitoba, here they had like a training school for airplanes, like for pilots and stuff. But they also, I have a few pictures of a collection of Nortons that they had because they were used by the Canadian Army, right? We were part of the Commonwealth. So, right from that day, as soon as I kind of figured out, well, this is World War II Norton, I want to build it. I want to restore it. And this is all I had. I had one little motor. So, start asking people. I found out there was one restored one, another one that was kind of restored, but it was pieces from all different years, and it was kind of all over the place. So there wasn't a lot of these around. Like there was 2 or 3 that I knew of, and no one had any extra parts. So, I do a lot of talking. I talked to a lot of people trying to find this stuff, and I tracked down a very rough chassis just south of Winnipeg, about a half an hour away. Went down, looked at it, and I got a picture right here. So I found this chassis in like just south of Winnipeg, and it was the beginnings of one, but it was pretty rough. Like this, the story goes that this chassis had been found in a bush, and you know, so kind of going on throughout the years, I found a wheel in Chicago, and I found parts all over Canada, and but everything was like kind of beat up. Like it's going to take a lot to get this rough chassis and forks and all that back together. So at the same time, met through like Facebook and stuff, Instagram. Like we're on Facebook Facebook and Instagram under Save the Rust. And this guy was in Thunder Bay, Ontario, which is about 8 hours away. And he was looking for handlebars and a couple other parts for his Norton 16H that he found that came out of a scrapyard. So, you know, I'm trying to put one together. I didn't have any extra parts, so we talked back and forth. And a couple of years later, he calls me up. He's like, "I'm never gonna get to it. You know, you're trying to put one together. Come and get my project, and for what I paid for it, and I bought it off him. And I'm really appreciative that he gave that chassis to me, and that, you know, good rolling chassis with a lot of good parts. And that's this frame. So, you know, once that happened, you know, really kick-started. So again, like this is, you know, we're into this thing for 12 years to get to this point. So got that chassis, you know, did a nice mock-up. Still had a problem with finding, you know, I had 3 different front ends. They are all had major issues, bent, you know, like not just like, you know, slight bent, but bent, extended, with a tapered tubing. Very hard to repair those. At least I've never tried or done it. So then found a front end up about 8 hours north of me in the middle of nowhere, Manitoba, Canada. And I got a picture here. And from a friend who didn't even know what it was. And when it showed up, I literally went downstairs, put this on, put it next to what I had, and it was exactly a Norton 16H front end. So if you take your time with this stuff, it kind of seems to kind of come to you. And that's what, at least what happened with this bike. So, you know, a friend of mine rebuilt the motor for me, the transmission. I got the mag dyno rebuilt. So we're in a good spot right now. So now we got to where we're at now, you know, blew everything apart, sent it off for powder coat, and now we're at that time that we can start assembling, which is going to be, you know, it's going to be a lot of fun. I'm really looking forward to it because I've been, you know, like working on this for like 12 years. So that's where we're at. I'm going to show you some of the parts that we have, all powder coated. We have a few pieces still on powder coating, including the you know, the majority of the front end, the hubs, and a couple little components. And then we have to get our fenders and tank painted. Didn't want to do that until I had this back, and this is, you know, it's actually a pretty new color, but it's I believe it's off like a 2024 quad. I like the color. I had to have it. It doesn't matter to me that it's not exactly the color from World War II. And some people won't like the fact that it's powder coated. I do, for durability. And this isn't your typical powder coat. There's some differences. It didn't flow in and kind of cover up all the castings, which I really like. It kind of, it looks like paint, and but it has, you know, the durability of powder. So here's the frame, and when I say like you don't see, it's not like all flowed in. It actually really didn't cover up anything, which is really nice. So we got our skid plate, we got our engine mounts. Here's our transmission, mag dyno, and our motor. So there's still lots of work to be done. We got our tanks and fenders that once we put this back together, we'll have to do a final fit on them and then get them all sent off. Rims are all powder coated. Also all the components for the forks and the rest have been parkerized. Inner primary, you know, some more components here. Speedo drive, Speedo mount, and then some of the extra parts that we have, you know, that we still have to deal with. Still have to go through all our levers and stuff and figure out which levers we're using for this bike. Here's a horn, that partial horn, so I need to find another one or the rest of the parts. And then we get over to the remainder of the parts that we have powder coated, and starting to figure out exactly what's going on here. So again, more of the headlight stuff here. So I'm missing all the hardware. I still got some hardware to parkerize. We got the rear stand, we got the wheels and brakes. Gonna go through those brake pads and see if they're good. If they are, we'll use them. Our speedo is really ugly. I got a friend who might be able to fix that for us, so we'll see what happens there. We got all the risers for the handlebars, new chains already, and here's the components for the seat. So we'll have to assemble all the seat. All these little springs go in here, and then this piece goes on, etc. So I hope I didn't bore you with that little recap on the history on this bike and how we got to this point, but I thought I'd kind of tell you about it because it matters. Part of the journey, part of the whole process of restoring bikes is its story. How did it come to be? Where did you find it, etc.? I mean, that's a lot to me, so documenting it here for you guys, it just allows the story to live on, and maybe people understand what it takes to get these bikes together, get them back on the road where they belong, because that's what we do. I'm Keith from Save the Russ. This is who we are. This is what we do. We get old bikes back on the road. So hit that subscribe button if you want to see more, because we're going to start assembling this thing very shortly. Sorry for the microphone. Sorry for the sound. I'm having issues with my my microphones, so we're doing it without. But it is what it is. What really matters is the process of restoring old bikes. Have a great day.